In this video, we cover the third A of access controls, which is auditing. Previously, we talked about authentication and authorization. So what is auditing? Auditing is the process of recording and analyzing a person or program's behavior. So as you consider yours and others' interaction with systems out there, what are some specific events that should be logged? A few of these include logins, failed login attempts, file deletions, file changes, etc. And should logs be reviewed? The answer seems obvious that it is crucial for the log to be reviewed, otherwise it is useless as it is only consuming space. So a few examples of auditing. First, we have my Gmail account, and you'll notice that it has various different locations that is showing that it's logged in from. And some of these are because I'm using an app to browse it. Others is that I'm actually browsing in Chrome. But you'll notice that each of these have specific login points for auditing, so I can know if someone is using my account outside of what would be an expected area. Another example of auditing is on my server. So as users interact with my server, I capture a bunch of activity. And these are to audit exactly what someone's actually doing. And you'll see the activity over time, how many different pieces of activity a person has engaged with. And at the bottom here, I have a table that actually shows me much more information about what is tracked regarding each user's behavior. And this allows me to replay exactly what the user's done so that I can ensure that we can restore files as well as monitor usage and see if there's anything that should be addressed. So now that we've shown you a couple instances of auditing, I want you to try this learning activity on your own. And specifically, I want you to pay attention to the number of unknown records and why that might be the case. So try this on your own and come back for our discussion. So this site gives us the total number of breaches that have been recorded. So there's 77,000 since 2006. And you can go through the timeline here. You can even search some of these industries to determine exactly what was breached. But if we wanted to go by sector, we can come down here to the who and how. And this bottom row shows us the industries that have been targeted the most. So the financial services businesses like banks, credit unions, investment firms, and so on. We have technology, manufacturing, utilities, and transportation companies. And then medical, like healthcare providers, hospitals, etc. So you also notice education and government are included here, as well as retail business. But these have a lot of records and a lot of financial information that's associated with these records that would be beneficial to these hackers to gain access to. You'll also notice over here that there are 8,000 unknown organization types. So this first row here is the breach method, with hacking being the predominant way that these records were affected. So the question here is, why do you think that 39,500 of the total breaches were unknown? And I would argue that it might be because there was lack of auditing to determine exactly what was breached and how it was breached. And then if we click on this next site, we can actually go up here and view by category. And this tells us which companies were the most impacted. So one of the biggest breaches of history was the 3.5 billion records in 2016 that were breached from Yahoo. And this was from a hack. And you can see that the numbers here for many of these breaches are substantial and affect many users' records. And you can hover over each of these to determine more information about each of those and what exactly happened with that breach. You can even come over here and search by organization type. So here's the financial sector, and that will narrow it down. So Equifax was the number one with 145 million records that were breached. Or you can even narrow it down to breach type. So if we just selected hacking, or come here, we could select unknown, and it gives us a list of companies that have unknown data breaches. This second link only has records through 2019, whereas that first included more information all the way up through 2025. You can even click on a state to view by state. You can narrow down the reported data to specific data breaches, etc. Thanks for watching my video. Feel free to click the links here to watch the next video of the playlist, continue to the next playlist, or subscribe.